Yay.
Yay!
Yay!
Well, hello everybody at AGDQ 2026. Hi.
Hi.
And welcome to what we have dubbed the fashion panel, or otherwise, the gamer's guide to putting that ish on. So, yeah, get sauced up with some of your friends from GDQ. Here, we got a little bit of a table of contents. So this is going to go over what we're talking about a little bit. You're going to meet your wonderful panelists that you have up here. We're going to talk a little bit about why you should care about fashion. Then we're going to talk a little bit about building a wardrobe and some places that you can buy things as well. We're also going to talk a little bit about some fashion misconceptions. And then also we're going to talk about building an outfit and some styling tips. And then you're going to hear from our panelists as well about some of our favorite brands and our favorite influences when it comes to fashion. And then we'll do a little bit of a Q&A. Does that sound good? That sounds great.
Yay.
Awesome. Yay.
Yay.
So, meet the panelists. So, I'm going to go first. Hello, my name is Anarchy, also called Anarchy ASF. I like to dub myself as a professional cool guy. But also, I kind of know what I'm talking about sometimes. I've done apparel work professionally for quite a bit now. I worked at Under Armour for a little bit. I also do freelance apparel design, mostly in the esports and gaming space. So I kind of know what I'm talking about a little bit, kind of. But yeah, I'm going to pass it over to Saf, who's right next to me.
Hi, I'm Sapphire, dubbed President of Awesome. I like to think I know what I'm doing every now and again. That's about it.
Yeah, I like that a lot of us are just. Hi, I'm Brian. I'm Brian Otto. I like that a lot of us are just up here, like, without really any super big qualification. Anarchy just kind of reached out to us. But hi, yeah. I guess my background is really like, I don't know, honestly, shout out my ex for putting me on, like, knowing how to dress and everything like that. It's all kind of evolved from there. I would say that's my first fashion tip is, like, have a good ex that likes how to dress. And then, yeah, I guess it's been kind of a fashion and everything has been, I would just call it a hobby of mine for the last, like, 5 or 6 years at this point. And so now I'm sitting here, and I guess I also have designed apparel if you count, like, fake baseball
I count
merch.
that.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
I count that. We love
Totally
baseball.
We love
Okay,
fake
cool.
baseball.
Anyway, take it away, Gabby.
Hi, I'm Blackheart Wings. Everybody also calls me Gabby. I'm the resident goth of the group. I wear a lot of black all the time. I'm also a DIY enthusiast. I love taking old clothes and turning them into something new. I'm a speedrunner. I'm a librarian. I do a little bit of everything all of the time. It's good fun.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, welcome. Those are your panelists. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about why you should even care. So up first, I put in this quote from Ralph Lauren, one of my favorite fashion influences, and he says that fashion is not necessarily about labels. It's not about brands. It's about something else that comes from within you. And that man surely could put on an outfit, so I trust him with my life. But I kind of had this idea for this panel because I like to dress, and so do all of the people who are on this panel with me, and I'm very happy to have them here with me. The point of this panel, at least in my opinion, is kind of not to just show off that we in our opinions, can dress good. The point was to share knowledge, and GDQ is often a place where it is up to us to it's a place for us to kind of explore how we express ourselves. This is often a place that people have the freedom to do that when they might not have the freedom to do that elsewhere. So I thought that it would be cool to share what I know to help people to be able to do that better, especially in a space that is safe. And also, I believe that fashion and kind of just conceptually kind of caring about how you look and how you present yourself can do a lot for yourself mentally. Being able to just bettering how you perceive yourself can really better your life in a lot of ways, and I wanted to also share that with some people. But yeah.
I like what you had to say about GDQ being a place that we express ourselves. I can't tell you how many times I've thought about an outfit at home and then I put it on. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so wearing this on GDQ on Wednesday or something like that. Like it goes in the GDQ bank or something like that, right? So yeah, so true. I feel like a lot of us explore. We explore like our gender identity here in a lot of ways, and also it's just like, I mean, I feel like fashion at its core is a creative endeavor and a form of personal expression, and it's a lot of fun. It's truly so much fun.
Yeah. And I 100% second what you said about, you feel better when you are wearing clothes that you actually enjoy wearing. We'll talk about it a little bit later, especially too, but like, the gender expectations that can be put onto clothes especially can be broken down, especially when you think about, oh my god, I want to wear, I packed a dress up, a full like button up like dress shirt, and I haven't worn one of those since I was a child, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I think that's really cool. It's a fun way
really
to
cool.
express fashion.
Well, yeah.
Well, yes.
Well, yes.
Well, yes.
Well, yes.
Well, yes. So next, something I wanted to talk a little bit about was building a wardrobe, because that's kind of where we often start at. Is kind of you can't really dress if you don't have a wardrobe. So I wanted to share some kind of breaking it down into like the simplest forms of what you can kind of do at base to kind of build a wardrobe. So at first, it is very tempting when you're like, I want to explore a new style. I want to explore different things about how I dress. It is very easy to be like, hey, I'm gonna throw away absolutely everything I own, and we're just gonna start fresh. But rebooting your style, starting over, doesn't mean starting from nothing. So if you can stand it, don't try to necessarily get rid of everything, because then you won't have anything to wear at all, and also you have to spend a lot more money. And I think that's also one of the core points I also wanted to talk about. We'll get into a little bit later. Is that you do not have to have a lot of money to be able to dress fashionably or be able to dress in style that you care about. But going on next, we also have inspiration, which is kind of finding your style, which is a really, really loaded question because that's really hard to do.
I have like a million things I can say immediately about
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hand it over to you in a second, but some things that I personally find, you can find inspirations literally everywhere, whether that's Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, things online, or it can be from other spaces. It could be from nature. It could be from seeing other people around you in real life, whether it could be literally anything. And a quote that I wanted to share that I really enjoy is, start copying what you love. Copy, 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 copy. At the end of the copy, you will find yourself, which I think is a really cool quote. But yeah, I'm going to hand it over to y'all.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Man, I guess I don't want to like jump ahead too far, but I mean, just talking about, places that maybe I find inspiration, things that I find inspirational is, honestly, like skateboarders, straight up. Like, I feel like for a long time, skateboarding and fashion have been really heavily intertwined basically since the get-go. Skateboarding itself is a form of personal expression. I feel like that extends to fashion. And I also just really find the sport in general interesting, so I find myself watching a lot of video parts, things like that. But no, truly skateboarders like know what they're doing a lot of the time. And when we get to some of the later slides, I have a couple people I named on there that are just like skateboarders that I like how they dress. Like literally, I don't even know what else to say. Like skateboarding is cool. I feel like the entire reason that I'm even wearing a camo hat right now is because like it became a trend in skateboarding, and now it's obviously camo is kind of everywhere. But yeah, and it's kind of funny how inspiration, you talk about how it just kind of comes up anywhere. There was a day we were out recently walking my dog, and I saw a Mini Cooper that was silver, and then it had like green rims and then like an orange and black stripe. And so I just wrote down in my notes app, I was like green, orange, silver, black, or something like that. And I was like, I want to dress like that Mini Cooper or something. It was like, it kind of comes out of nowhere. It's
Inspiration is genuinely everywhere. Like Anarchy said, I mean, it could be at a GDQ that you see someone with an outfit on and you're like, I want to look like them, or taking inspiration from the people around you at home, or I mean, like you said, nature, a car, skateboarders, different subcultures of different things that you're interested in. Like so many different music subcultures have such a specific like look to them. You think punk, you think scene, you think goth. Like you can, there's so many different ways to tie inspiration from all of these communities into something that you call your own.
Yeah.
And understanding the way that, especially in the subcultures, how those rules work and how you can incorporate them into your fashion choices later enables you to be able to break those rules to personalize your style even further. We're going to talk about this a little bit more with DIY because we do mention DIY a little bit later. But I draw a lot of inspiration from the punk scene as well as the goth scene. And DIY is huge in that aspect. Another thing that I draw from a lot of is elegant gothic Lolita, which is a Japanese subculture. It's a Japanese fashion subculture. And they have a very specific set of rules, especially considering accessories and the way that you accessorize yourself from head to toe. And understanding those rules has helped me dress better and understand the way that I like to dress in everyday life. And so, yeah, understanding where your inspirations come from and bringing them into your everyday is also super important.
Yeah. And since we were kind of sharing where we get our inspiration from, I'll share a couple of mine. I'm a little all over the place if you ever see me anywhere. I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of different things. One aspect in my life that is really, really important to me and plays a lot into like genuinely everything I do is music. And with that, I listen to a lot of different kinds of music. So whether that's exploring more preppy, more kind of serious looking fits when I'm listening to, because I'm thinking about classical music, or whether I'm exploring a more Western type of vibe because I'm listening to Cowboys with my friend Laszlo. Great playlist, by the way. Or whether I'm, whatever it is, I find that I take a lot of inspiration from it. Even, we're all here because of video games.
Yup.
You're telling me, you can't tell me you haven't looked at Arthur Morgan and gone, hey, I want to be that. Hey, I want to. Hey.
I was literally
Sadie
watching.
Adler.
I was watching Hotfix maybe a month or two ago, and I forget who was running Tomb Raider or which Tomb Raider it was, but like
I remember
Laura
this,
Croft
yeah.
was on there, and she had like a boxy orange bomber that was like tucked into some I don't know, just kind of desert camo pants, and I literally took a screenshot of that and put it in my inspiration folder. Like video
Yeah.
games, literally video games.
And
It's
you made
very
that
cool.
outfit.
Yeah.
I did. I
You
made
made
the
the
outfit. I
outfit.
made
You
the
made the
outfit. Yes.
So, yeah. The big takeaway here is that you can find your style, find your inspiration literally anywhere. But moving on, more so towards our building wardrobe. Now we've got basics after that. Now, what the devil does that mean? Basics or kind of essentials are exactly that. They're kind of your building blocks for a wardrobe. So these are your basic things: your shirts, your hoodies, your pants, etc. They are a good way to see what you like without overcomplicating it. And you can use these exploring shirts, exploring hoodies, pants to test fits, whether you like things cropped, for example, or whether you like things oversized. Testing colors, what colors look good on you, what colors you like to wear, or using things as layers later on, especially once you kind of nail down what it is you really like to look like. Basics are kind of important. And then after that, we've got our basics, and then now excuse my French, but we have statement pieces, which is generally just wear cool shit. Statement clothing kind of does exactly that. You make a statement. Oftentimes, that'll be what makes the outfit, what kind of defines the outfit. It could be a patterned shirt, a really bright colored jacket, which you'll see later, a baggy shaped pants, fresh sneakers, whatever it is. Statement pieces can be anything. Not every outfit really needs a statement piece, but it's fun to have cool stuff and to show it off. Pairing a statement piece with essentials in whatever style it is can usually never go wrong. For example, we have the Cool Shirts Minecraft sweater. I will be wearing that later in the week. It's a banger. I can't lie. But stuff like that, just wearing the cool things that you like to wear that showcase the things that you enjoy, just having them is so cool. But I'm going to pass it off if any of you have.
I don't have too much to add on that. I think. Yeah.
I mean, I think you did a lot to cover that. Yeah.
Well, yes.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, I think maybe just to point out that statements can be sometimes they're really loud, sometimes they're really colorful, other times. I mean, for me, I would consider this jacket this is the statement piece. This is what I don't want to stand up and mess up the framing or whatever, but this is kind of like what the entire outfit revolves around. Is everything is that I'm wearing is cued around matching with this, and so this is the statement piece, I would say. And so it's not necessarily bright or colorful or complicated. It's just kind of a green and brown jacket, So it takes different shapes and sizes, just like inspiration.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And it is a nice green and brown jacket.
Thank
I
you.
can say that.
Thank you.
But moving on, I do want to pass it over to Brian specifically, but we hate fast fashion.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we
Okay.
do.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're getting into the part where we're talking about where are you gonna be finding clothes and everything like that. I'm kind of peeking ahead at some of the future panels, and so this is just a bit of kind of a warning statement about fast fashion and maybe some pitfalls if you're looking for clothes or anything like that. Fast fashion are basically any brand that is designed around just pumping out a ton of designs all the time, multiple collections a year. And it may be places that you didn't expect. And the reason that we generally want to avoid fast fashion is it's really unsustainable more than anything else. A lot of the times it appears to be affordable or it appears to be good, and they are clothes that will wear out in less than a year. Speaking from experience, I'm a person that, and this isn't to say that there's nothing, you will never find anything good in fast fashion. There are plenty of good things you can find at a place like H&M or a place like Zara or something like that. But I think now, especially as time has gone on, There's a lot of brands that maybe used to be able to be trusted or just places you used to be able to go. And I think especially when you take into account things like inflation or whatever, or cost cutting, it's not as reliable anymore. So I would say it's definitely possible to go into like an H&M and find something that looks great. I have stuff from H&M like in my bag that I brought.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just more the fact that these places, especially increasingly, become just a net negative for the world in
Yeah.
general. They usually don't have like really good business practices. They don't pay their employees well. It's just more of like something, a piece that I wanted to say about just thinking about like where you shop, because I guess just kind of for me is, I feel like even though we are just like individual people and what we do as individuals doesn't matter in the big scheme of things, you know, we're on like a rock flying through the universe, whatever. Like as far, I do feel like, you know, if a bunch of individual people make small decisions, then those all become big things, you know, and that's just kind of a philosophy that I have for for life in general. But all that being said, we are going to give you plenty of like ideas or places to go that aren't these spots. And again, you don't need to like feel bad for buying a shirt from H&M or something like that. Like I think the main reason I put this here too is a lot of the reason like fast fashion tries to be really affordable. And even these places that used to be affordable, again, like H&M or Zara, now, you know, it's even they don't really have the affordability argument anymore. I think is kind of the deal. Things have just like changed so much. So anyway, that's kind of all I had to say about that. I don't know if anybody else wants to hop in there. I just wanted to like go on a fast fashion rant for a second.
I would actually love to piggyback on that.
Yeah.
Along with the sustainability portion, a lot of these clothes are designed to wear out so quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of like some important pieces of like, you know, pieces that I have are they're like pieces that I've had for a while, you know. If you go and you buy, let's just say like a corset on Amazon, that is not going to last you for years and years like a good, nice corset would. And you're going to be throwing it out and you're going to be buying more.
Yeah.
And if you buy more from them, you're just going to be contributing to this constant cycle of sweatshops and poor business practices. And I don't want to do that personally.
I was just thinking, like, it's quite literally like the enshittification of clothes.
Yeah.
Is what it is,
Yeah.
more or less.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
Next slide.
Yeah, next slide, let's go.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about some brands that you can kind of get basic stuff at. Frame one, we hit the Uniqlo.
Uniqlo is, yeah.
Yeah,
Uniqlo
frame one
actually
on
ripped
that.
really
Uniqlo's
hard.
great.
They have like literally everything, and it's in high quality and relatively affordable. Many people, I even see some of you in the the crowd, kind of. We run that. Many people swear by everything they have, so Uniqlo, great option.
Especially if we're talking about places to get basics.
Yeah.
Just like really nice, simple quality t-shirts, pants, sweatpants, whatever. Uniqlo is also really unique in that they have like they have like the Air Sim fabric,
Yeah.
which is a really reliable, super comfortable material that they use for their t-shirts and long sleeves and things like that. And yeah, it's like something that they do really well that you can pretty much only find there.
Yeah.
And yeah, great spot. Great
Very
spot.
unique, you know. Like,
Yes.
well, yes. Next one, I personally wanted to vouch for. I cannot lie. I be shopping at Old Navy.
I was surprised when I saw this on here. I haven't
I'm
looked at
not
Old
gonna
Navy in
lie.
a long
I be
time.
shopping at Old Navy.
Old Navy is great.
Old Navy is great. Like, I'm not
A lot
gonna
of
lie.
my basics are from Old Navy. The jeans that I'm wearing right now are from Old
Hell
Navy.
yeah.
Their
Yeah.
jeans, yeah.
Yeah. Old Navy, Old Navy will always have something that's on sale, whether you're in the store or you're shopping online, and it'll usually be of a pretty decent high quality, and you can always find an Old Navy store literally anywhere. But yeah, whether it's whatever it is you need, whether it's basics or you want some statements, I'm not gonna lie, I bought pairs of pants from Old Navy like a couple weeks ago specifically to wear at GDQ, or whether it's like for athleticism or whatever you need it for. Old Navy usually has got your back.
Yeah.
And then lastly on this slide, this one is also a personal one that I've used before, which is called AS Color. They offer a wide variety of blanks, usually for printing stuff. So this is a blank service that I've used for some of the esports endeavors and designing clothes for esports. There is a specific small Chicago-based esports group that I usually work with. We've made tons of shirts together over the years. Every single thing we have ever made has held up so well. It's of a really nice quality. You can get whatever colors it is you want. There's different fabrics. They've got a lot of different stuff. Even though it's usually used for blanks, there are a lot of really good basics that you can find that are really, really nice, and in a very wide variety of categories as well. So yeah, on the next slide, I'm gonna hand it over to Brian.
Oh, yeah. Happy to talk about Los Angeles Apparel. This is actually a brand I found out about in the last couple years, but they operate, as the name implies, like out of Los Angeles. They make everything in-house. That's really a big focus on sustainability and paying their employees fair wages. And also, their clothes are, I'm not going to say they are the cheapest ever, but they're not expensive either, and they're just really just of really great quality. I think for me, I think the reason that I got so high on them is because the thing that I cannot stand more than anything else is when the necks on my like sweaters or anything like that like get loose,
Ooh,
or on
yep.
t-shirts or anything like that. I have kind of a big head, so like when I'm constantly like putting clothes on and off, like it stretches it out. And I remember I was like looking around, like just searching forever, trying to find like where can I find a dang sweater that has like a really tight neck hole. And so I searched like sweater tight neck hole Reddit or something like that. You know what you do. And then somebody was like, dude, I can't get my head through these Los Angeles Apparel sweaters. And I was like, that's where I'm going. Anyway, but yeah, they're really cool. Even on the tag, like I'm not sure how much credence there is to it, but they have like a picture of the person, of like one of the people that works in their factory that help make your clothes or anything like that. So they're cool. Just wanted to give them a shout out. They are a great spot for basics. These are all just really good basic shops, I would
Yeah.
say. Yes.
For the last one, I want to hand it over to Gabby because I know a very large portion of your wardrobe, and really all of us,
Yes.
comes from the thrift. So Gabby,
Thrifted.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love thrifting so much. One of the places listed here is ThreadUp. This is an online consignment store that I swear by. I get a lot of my basics here. And these are lightly used clothes. So you're not only taking something off of somebody else's hands, you're finding like basics for your wardrobe, and it's accessible in the way that they will deliver to you. So if you don't have a good thrift store in and around you, but you want to still shop sustainably, this is a really great alternative. Thrifting is really cool because you will sometimes find the perfect thing that you need for your outfit. This past Halloween at work, we all dressed up as strawberry shortcake characters.
And you ate that up.
And
You
sure
did
did,
eat that
and
up.
sure
We all
did.
dressed up as strawberry shortcake characters, and I dressed up as Ginger Snap, and I went looking for a pink sort of jacket. I found the perfect pink jean jacket at one of my local thrift shops. I paid a portion of what it would have been if it were new. It's still in my closet, and it helps spectacularly with layering. You can find all sorts of basics online in thrifting, and that'll help you build up your wardrobe and get different pieces that will work for different outfits. And another thing that I love about thrifting, especially in-person thrifting, is if you go wearing plain clothes and you test out different outfits, you get a feel for what it will look like if you're mixing and matching with different things. Also, ThreadUp, you can sort it. If you go onto the ThreadUp's website, it will sort it by most popular. Don't do that. Sort by
True.
cheapest
True.
and go from there. Trust the process. You will find some gems.
Yeah. I also wanted to just point out that another service kind of like ThreadUp is Goodfair. That one is interesting in that you don't know what you're getting, which is something I've used, which is really interesting and a cool way to kind of put together outfits if you don't know what you're gonna get. You basically give it they have categories, so you can get t-shirt, tie-dye, long sleeve, Hawaiian shirt, whatever it is that you want. It'll come in either like a 2 or 3 pack, and you'll get it. And you can put in requests for specific colors if you kind of know what you want, but like not really, which is kind of a cool place to also acquire things. And also just go into your brick and mortar thrift, whether it's a kind of a chain like Goodwill or Salvation Army or local places. All of those are really great places to find your next piece.
One more thing about ThreadUp, sorry, before we move on. So you can sort by brand. So if you want secondhand Old Navy clothes, they have secondhand Old Navy clothes. If you want secondhand H&M, they have secondhand H&M. And they have like from regular, everyday to like secondhand Ralph Lauren that you can get. It's a really good spot. You should check it out.
I love Ralph Lauren. Anyway, moving on.
I'm waiting for this slide.
Anyway, I'm gonna hand it over to Brian.
Oh.
You know where we're going.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, so I used to be kind of intimidated by the idea of like thrifting. I don't know, it's just because I was like, I don't know how to dress. I don't know what I'm doing. I think really like the main thing I've learned is, and it's going to be kind of a theme in general, is like there's really no wrong way to thrift, really. And part of it's going to be kind of dependent on what you have available local to you. I live in Portland, Oregon, so like I'm kind of lucky in that there's just like a ton of stuff I can go do at any time. But really, honestly, you know, I talk a lot about like fashion as a hobby, and thrifting is. When I think about a hobby, I think about speedrunning as a hobby, and I start thinking about, okay, how is this similar to speedrunning? Thrifting is like a lot like speedrunning in that sometimes you gotta grind. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta grind for that time. Like there have been plenty of times where, you know, I'll just go to like 4 stores back to back, and I'll just like, dude, like nothing, like
Yeah.
completely struck out on the day. I think that's kind of reinforces the bigger point I want to make is that when it comes to thrifting, when it comes to fashion in general, just like any other hobby, you're gonna get in what you're gonna get out what you put into it.
Yeah.
There are definitely things about it where if it is something that interests you or is something that you want to improve at, it is going to like take time. And sometimes that is going through a thrift store and just kind of like scanning through. And it's, you know, it doesn't kind of matter where you go. There's no wrong way to do it. There is often something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, again, like this is my favorite jacket I've ever owned. You talk about finding gems. This is my favorite jacket I ever owned. I got this the first time I went thrifting. Like the first time
Wow.
ever was this jacket. And I just thought it was cool. I went home and I checked the tag. I was like, I guess people do that sometimes. They look at the tags of the brands, and I looked it up. And this is a Dehen brand jacket, which is they're like a quality goods store that's based out of Portland. And their jackets literally sell new for like $600. And I paid like $20 for this. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
amazing. So and these are just things that happen. You were talking about like ThreadUp. If we want to talk about like Depop for a second, which is kind of like online.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There was a
Don't talk to
leather
me about
jacket,
Depop.
which you will see me in later this week,
Yeah.
that I was kind of unsure about because it was like $75, and I showed it to Saf, and Saf looked up the brand, which was Taylor's Leatherwear,
Yeah.
and they were like, Brian, like these jackets are going for like they're like sell new for 500.
Yeah.
It was like
probably-
$250 on the lowest end.
Yes, so it's just like sometimes that's kind of the thing with this. Sometimes these things just like fall into your lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, thrifting is genuinely like if you go into it with the intention of like finding joy there is 100% joy to be found. And we've talked quite a bit about like sustainability and everything like that, especially with things like ThreadUp or your local thrift store or Depop or anything like that. Your money is going toward local businesses or other people, or just, you know, not corporations, for
Yeah.
example, right? So, yeah, I genuinely, it's weird. Like 2 years ago, I was like, for some reason, scared to death of thrifting. I don't know why. Maybe 3 years ago, and now it's genuinely like one of my favorite things to do with people.
Yeah.
Just as a way to spend like an afternoon or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's my vamp about thrifting, I guess.
Yeah. I have a couple other things to add, especially about
Please.
thrifting. I mean, like you said, you can it's fun to do in an afternoon. I remember when I went to Portland in March to visit Brian, we went thrifting day one. We went and
Yes.
got coffee, and we went thrifting, and we found some really cool things. Like you said earlier as well, it's the effort you put into thrifting that actually nets that return. If you're thrifting, and let's just say, you know, I'm a femme. I go through every single section. I look through
Yeah.
all of the men's pants. That's how I found some of my favorite camo pants that I've ever had. You look through everything, so that way you can actually have a chance at finding, you know, those hidden gems. And I will also say one more thing. I know we really like dissed fast fashion earlier. If you see fast fashion at the thrift store, that is something that has already been purchased and already been put into circulation. If you like that, you are more than welcome. In my own personal opinion, as a thrifter,
absolutely.
please,
Yeah, yeah.
you can take that fast fashion and you can continue to use it until you wear it thin.
Anything at
I
the
have-
thrift store is free game.
Exactly. I have so many things that I've gotten from the thrift store. Like, I have a skirt that's from Shein, and I wear that thing to the bone because I thrifted it,
Yeah.
right? And I didn't put that money into the actual like fast fashion industry. Everything at the thrift store does not have a home right now, and if you think that you'll like it and you'll wear it and you will wear it around, please, like, absolutely go for that. Yeah.
My biggest point is just never give up. Never
Never
what?
give up.
Never
Actually,
give
though.
up.
Never
Because I'm not gonna lie,
It's brutal out there sometimes.
it is. Yeah, the thrifts where I live, ooh, it's a little rough. It's a little rough, but never give up because, like you said, you can always find that hidden gem in there. You just gotta You just gotta keep digging until you find diamonds.
Yep.
I think another point to make about thrifting too is it's a really accessible way just to try on like really weird stuff that
Yeah.
maybe you would have never considered before. You know, everything in there is going to be generally speaking pretty cheap depending on where you are, and yeah, it's a great way, especially if you want to talk about finding like statement pieces.
Yeah.
Or yeah, I mean, I remember when I was in Chicago last year with my buddy Lucas, who was visiting from Germany. He found just the most random like racing. It was like a
Oh,
racing
So
jacket.
goodness,
beautiful.
Anyway, like it just looked like straight out of a NASCAR. Anyway, so oh, and you found a NASCAR bomb. Anyway,
I found a
there's
NASCAR
just so much
bomber.
cool stuff you can find.
Found an
just-
Alaska Airlines jacket.
yeah, an Alaska Airlines jacket. Yeah, and yeah, that Alaska Airlines jacket is hanging on a chair.
It's
in our
on a
room.
chair in our
Yeah,
room.
like so
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's a really accessible way to experiment. I think more than anything else, thrifting is great for experimenting and maybe trying something on that you would have never considered before.
Just to put out there for the audience as well, there is a difference between a thrift store and a vintage shop.
That's
Yes.
True, 100%.
Very, very true.
Be very careful because lots of places will claim to be thrift stores and you walk in and it's a vintage spot. And the
Yeah.
vintage places will upcharge you to like nobody's business. Sometimes you can find gems, so be discerning as to the local places where you go. But there is a difference between a thrift shop and a vintage store.
Well, yes.
Be mindful of that.
Be very mindful.
Yeah. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and talk about some fashion misconceptions.
Steal his
I didn't even see this in the preview. oh my
first
gosh,
off-
this is awesome.
First off, I don't play about Hank Hill. Those who know. But here's just some things I kind of want to drive points home about that people sometimes tend to think about what fashion is, about what dressing well is, when that usually doesn't tend to be the case. The first one is that dressing well, dressing within your style is kind of expensive. And one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite fashion influences that you'll see later, Elliot Dupre, is that if you cannot dress well cheaply, you cannot dress well at all. So usually, if you've kind of got that, you've got your basics, you've got, you've kind of nailed down your style. If you can figure out how to make that work, you can figure that out without kind of dressing out the wazoo. For example, Elliot really likes to dress in vintage designer stuff, vintage Armani, vintage Ralph Lauren, et cetera, et cetera. But he goes about it in such a way that he's not breaking the bank to dress the way that he wants to dress. Most of the things he finds, they either come from eBay, they come from brick and mortar thrifts, they come from places like Depop, et cetera, et cetera. And where there's a will, there's a way, and you'll figure it out. Something else I wanted to talk about, I really wanted to kind of drive home, especially with the kind of setting that we're at, is that clothes are not gendered. Clothes are just that. They are clothes. Wear whatever it is you want to wear. For example, I present femme. My pronouns are she, her. But I really, really enjoy menswear. I think menswear is so cool. And a lot of my style influence comes from menswear designers, menswear influencers, and just menswear in general. I just think it's so cool, and that's what I rock with. But I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm secure in my femininity. They're clothes. At the end of the day, they're clothes. So that's kind of definitely a concept I wanted to kind of drive home.
100%.
Yeah. Next we have this one is like stupid, but I feel like a lot of people kind of rock with this one when it's kind of dumb. Outfit repeating. Hey, if you find a combination of the stuff that works for you, rock it.
I have worn this outfit on so many first dates. Straight up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like literally, yeah.
Works every time.
If you like it and it makes you happy, wear it.
Yup.
Exactly, yeah. Nobody is keeping score on how many times you wear an outfit, how many times you wear a specific piece, or this or that. If it works for you and you like it, do whatever you want. Do it literally. I mean, we're gonna talk about that later, but do what you want forever. Gabby says this all the time. Literally, do what you want forever.
Yeah.
And then the last kind of point, I don't know necessarily how popular this one is, but I do hear it from time to time. Is that personal style is just that. It's personal. It can change just like how your interests change. It can change like with the wind. Just like what kind of aesthetics are in, what it is you're enjoying. So can your personal style. Whatever it is you're into at the time usually can reflect in your style, and I find that it does that for me as well. Like me personally, I'm really into like Western wear right now. I couldn't tell you why that is.
It's a
But-
I
mystery.
have no idea.
I
Who
have no
knows?
idea why that might be the case at all. But yeah, don't be afraid to kind of, if things aren't doing it for you, you kind of change up the way things you're doing things.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
Can I actually say one more thing about gendered clothes?
Yeah.
So I know, at the very least, personally, I am trans. So I know growing up, whenever I first came out, I was immediately like, it was something that came to the forefront of my mind is I am not like, I can't dress mask at all. I can't just go out in like jeans and a t-shirt. I have to like present hyper femme. And as I've grown up a little bit and as I've like moved forward through my fashion journey, it that like feeling, that like nagging in the back of my mind that tells me, hey, you're not presenting enough, it goes away. And especially I think in spaces like this where we can all talk about it and discuss all together with shared experiences, I think that's something that's really important to bring up, you know, like we said, clothes are not gendered, and if anyone says that, they're wrong.
Well,
Good
yeah.
point.
Well, with that, hey, let's build an outfit.
Yay!
Yay! All right, so this outfit is one you will be seeing me wear on stage for American Truck Sim. Well, yes. And this particular outfit is inspired by vintage trucking outfits. So we've got, usually a work jacket, a striped, fun shirt of some description, and then a tie, because it is. In particular, I think this was really inspired by kind of the 70s. So, we're kind of like, we're working, but, we're still dressing up a little bit. So, yeah. This particular outfit is built around this orange jacket and this tie. Orange is my favorite color. I love orange to death. And I saw this jacket I got this jacket on Depop, by the way. I saw this, I was like, oh, 100%. That is for me. So I bought this jacket and I was like, hey, what can I do with this jacket? And then I was also thinking about, like I said, I'm very into Western wear currently. And I was like, what can I do that's kind of inspired by vintage Western wear, but also vintage trucking. And then I also had this tie. This tie I got about a year ago. It's a Civil War tie. It has a Civil War print from the Battle of Shiloh on it, which, if you know me, is so me.
How
Like,
did you find that?
Depop, baby. I love Depop. Yeah, so this outfit is kind of built around that jacket and that Civil War tie because I wanted to show off both of those, and I think they go together great.
That's crazy.
So what I did, especially with the colors, we've got the orange jacket, which is kind of the statement, but we've got the tie that's got some oranges and some warm hues, but also some blue. And then I took that blue, and I have the striped shirt that is blue pinstriped, so it kind of ties in those blue hues together. And then we've also got some brown going on from the collar of the jacket. So I put it together with this kind of light tan sort of chino pant. And then we tied together, kind of sandwiched the two browns with those boots on the bottom because it's winter and it's cold. As I said before, most of this outfit was gotten secondhand. The jacket came from Depop. The tie came from Depop. The shirt came from Goodwill. And I got the pants from Old Navy.
The classic.
Oh, yes.
Old Navy, baby.
Old Navy, baby. Old Navy, baby. The total cost for this outfit was about $50, and that is minus the shoes because I got those as a gift. I got the jacket off Depop for like $11. The tie was $5. The shirt was like $6. The pants were like $12 because they were half off. And then the jewelry was also pretty cheap because it was also on sale. So, like I said, to be able to dress in the style that you're kind of looking for, you do not have to break the bank. All of these individually I got for very cheap, and I will be able to wear them with a myriad of different outfits that will, kind of, that's what I'm saying. And like I said, I will be wearing this jacket with 2 other outfits at the event. So it's not like I'm not going to keep wearing it, which is something I also want to hand off to Brian to talk kind of about building multiple outfits around one sort of
Oh my
piece.
God. Yeah. And I think like more than anything else, I love a cool jacket.
100%.
Like a cool jacket is the easiest thing to build multiple stuff around, especially if it's a statement piece or otherwise. Like I was talking about that black leather jacket that I got, which I have in like 3 different outfits this week. I mean, I've worn this with a million different things. I think if a really great way to maybe even start building a wardrobe or maybe figuring out what your style is or anything, I mean, is if you're able to find just that one piece that you really, really like, and especially if it's a cool jacket. I think what I learned from this is that I really love I really love like workwear or like
100%,
utility
yeah.
wear or anything like that. Things that are functional. Things that look like you just got off the shift at the long day factory, like
Lord knows.
and yeah, and like this jacket literally defined how I started to like curate my wardrobe and what I started to wear and like just the kind of style that I started to use. And yeah, especially if you're able to find something with like any, I mean, I guess the bright orange works, neutral
Yeah.
tones. Yeah, I just think like finding that one really cool jacket is a great way. It's a great like foundation to lay, and you can start building other things from there.
Yeah. One other thing I want to point out about this jacket, one thing that I say to my friends all the time, and at first it was kind of demeaning because it was meant to be like, hey, this does not look great, but like, I always go, it's so you. That orange jacket is so me. It might not be for other people, but it is for me. So that's, definitely something I wanted to point out. But now, since we've got the outfit that we pointed out, we have some styling tips. So we're gonna go down not go down the road, but whoever wants to take on whatever point, go ahead. But I also will start with kind of accessorizing. Sometimes accessories can be what kind of takes an outfit that extra mile. Accessories can be anything. It could be jewelry. It could be hats. It could be bags. It could be a fragrance. It could be a nice fragrance. I love a fragrance.
It could
That
be your
can
hair.
sometimes that can elevate an outfit. That can be that, like I said, that little extra step, that extra mile that kind of ties together the whole thing.
I think a great example of an accessory that like really elevates something. The chains under the collar, I love doing that.
Yeah,
Literally.
100%. I got that for
yeah.
you.
Oh. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a great example of how just such a little thing like really elevates an entire outfit. So, yeah, totally agree on accessorizing there.
Yeah. The next one I personally wanted to talk about, which is thinking about fit. We all like our clothes to fit a certain way. And that also was kind of talking about that earlier when talking about using basics to kind of experiment with things. I feel personally more confident in outfits that fit the way I want them to. And personally, that is usually kind of an oversized type fit. And usually that can kind of really also take an outfit that extra, if it fits, if it looks good, it also fits the way you want it to fit. Like a shirt falling just right where you want it to fall, that's like a different type of good feeling. Like just immaculate. So that was something that I wanted.
I think another thing about fit as well is when I'm putting an outfit together, I think about silhouettes and shapes almost
Yeah.
more than I think about colors sometimes. So yeah, think about the way that think about the way it makes you look, like the way it shapes you.
Yeah.
That's the big reason why even before. I mean, I kind of love that it's trendy lately, but that's why I've always loved like boxy crop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like when I got like something big and bulky on top, and then like my legs are just like little down there. I don't know why. It's just like
Yeah.
it's what I like,
Yeah.
So if I think sometimes with fashion too, it can be hard to kind of like figure out like, oh, does this go together? Blah blah blah. Like if that seems confusing, start with shapes.
Yeah.
Think about shapes. Think about silhouettes. I think I enjoy that almost more.
Shapes
than-
and colors.
Shapes
Oh,
and
then
colors.
Yeah.
I also particularly want to point out that when you're a bigger person, it can definitely be hard to kind of make things work the way you want it to work. For me personally, I'm built like a tank, so it's hard sometimes. And also, I'm short, so a lot of things that fit width-wise the way I would like it to fit are like really, really long. So sometimes we got to improvise, we got to make it work, and that's also part of the fun of it, is figuring out what you can do to make that work. But next, I want to hand it off to my resident DIY people, Gabby and Saf, talking about going DIY mode.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So DIY is one of my favorite things ever. Right now, you can see that I'm currently wearing some fishnets. These started out as tights.
And beard.
This is an old punk trick that I picked up in a nightclub. Where basically, if you've got like old fishnets, anything that's like kind of got a little bit of wear and tear on it, you tear open the crotch, you cut the feet off, and you've got a shirt. I've gotten more mileage out of these fishnets as a shirt than I did when they were fishnets. This is a staple in my wardrobe now. I wear it under pretty much anything that's got like a sleeve that will show off my arms. It's my favorite thing ever. Another thing is jeans. Sometimes they'll wear out in certain places. You can just cut the pants off.
Yup.
You can just make shorts.
You can just
You
make
can just make shorts. You don't even have to hem them. That's a whole look.
Yep.
That's a whole. lot.
Unhemmed shorts are just a whole look. If I hear any jort jokes, I'm coming for you.
I was
They
gonna
were
say we
already-
got some
they were
people that
already
need to.
good.
Yeah, they gotta go.
It's okay
Hey,
right there.
Yeah, you gotta
Surely
go.
you jet.
You're done. You're done.
But DIY is a really great way to repurpose things, especially because these are things that already fit you. You are just repurposing them and changing them up to change your silhouette, for example, or changing the way that they function. Saf, for example, is really great at cutting shirts.
I did also, yeah, post panel I am gonna take my volunteer t-shirt and we're gonna have a little demonstration like over there on how to do a diagonal cut to cut out the collar and to crop it.
I have watched Saf do this before. It's actually super cool. I'm like terrified of taking blades to any clothes that
Yeah.
I like, but
Well, it's scary. So what you have to do, you have to start with something you don't care about. So my best recommendation for something that's, you're like, what's in my closet that I can cut up? Old band t-shirts. My old front bottoms t-shirts from years ago, they've gone through some stuff because I'm like, well, because you just cut them. The other day, actually, we were over at one of our friends' houses, and I had a like long T-shirt that I was like, okay, I have been wanting to do something with this that I haven't been able to figure out what is right for it. So I saw a video on Instagram that really inspired me, and what I did, down the sides, I cut strips, like completely down, down the sides of the shirt, like right here, after putting a fitted tank top on top of it, cut the strips, cut them out so they were like both separate from each other, tied it together, and then cut the sleeves off. And literally just made a like sleeveless tank top that was completely fitted. And then I took to the back and I just cut some lines in it and tied them together so it looked like a spine down the back. There's so many different ways where you can just express yourself through clothing. You can cut, you don't even have to hem because you don't even have to sew to DIY. You can take some scissors and you can tie some fabric together and you can get some really beautiful things.
and the crazy thing about that example you listed is like having watched that, you didn't even like really measure anything.
No.
Like you just
did that.
you just did it.
I laid down the tank top on top of the
Yeah.
shirt and started cutting, and then I was like, oh shoot, I'm messing it up. And then I was like, it'll be fine.
Exactly.
And then it's fine. That is one of my like number one pieces of advice I can give to anyone who is trying to like cut up a shirt or DIY anything. If you mess it up, I guarantee you there is a way you can fix that. Like the other night I had a friend over, literally last week, I had a friend over and I was like, hey, we're gonna cut up a shirt. And she cut it up a little bit too much in the neckline. So instead of like, oh man, that's a lost cause, instead of being over one shoulder, it's over both shoulders and it fits really perfectly. So stuff like that, or I mean, like Gabby said, cut some jorts.
Right.
There is
we
no
love
shame in
jorts.
the
There is
jort,
no
okay?
there is no shame in jorts.
It's really hard to make something irreparably bad with DIY. It's extremely difficult. There is always a way to like sew something up if you feel like sewing, or cut something up or tie something together. I don't want to say it's impossible. I've seen people tear up a shirt until it shreds.
Yeah.
But it happens. It's okay. If you feel like you've messed something up beyond repair, that is okay
That's
too.
fine.
That
You're
is part
learning.
of experimenting and learning and figuring things out. You're not going to get it perfectly right the first time. The first time I cut up a shirt, it ended up a little bit too small, and I was like 15, and the crop was too short for me. So I ended up, I think I gave it to like one of my cousins who was much smaller, and it wasn't a whole shirt for her. There is, it's okay to mess up.
Yeah.
I cannot emphasize this enough. If you mess up, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. This is why we use things that have been worn out, worn through, things that have already been used. So yeah, if you can't fix it, it's okay.
Yeah. Mistakes are 100% a part of the learning process. I have not cut up every single shirt I've done perfectly, but you're learning, you're going through it, and as you do it more and more, you get better at it, and you can cut it up explicitly and perfectly how you want to cut it.
Yeah. That's a point I want to make with this next point here, is that fashion is a process. And really, when it comes to styling, get experimental. Once again, excuse my friends, just do shit. As I love to say, get a little esoteric on the beat. Don't be afraid to experiment with colors, with fits, with literally whatever. Like what I've got on right now, I'm styling this Yeti tee. I know all of us have a million of these, but experiment with it. Figure out ways to kind of match this with the style that you're trying to go for. Like for example, I've got this on with a collared shirt that I like to wear. I've got some chains on. I've got a little jean chain going on, and it works for me. I mean, it looks cool. I mean, I think I look all right. So like, sure. This was something I came up with a few hours ago, by the
Yup.
way, when I got this T-shirt. So we're coming up with stuff. We're getting experimental.
Improv in fashion is good actually. It's fun. I like doing
You
it.
also
Well, yes.
you also don't need to use things for their intended purpose. You can use a skirt as a dress. In my introduction panel picture, I'm wearing a chain necklace. That's a wallet chain, y'all.
Period.
Yes. Yes.
Do what you want forever, but also you need to be bad at something to be good at
Yeah.
something.
Exactly.
Let yourself be bad. It's okay. This is how we learn.
I love the line "fashion is a process."
Fashion is a
Yeah,
process,
that's
yeah.
kind of I feel like the thing that I've been hammering home the whole time, and I think what I like too is especially after you spend a lot of time with it, and after you've built a wardrobe, and after you kind of have all these things, is that everything you wear kind of like has a little story to it,
Yeah.
which I think is really fun. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I could probably talk for like you can't see these right now, but I could probably talk for like 5 minutes about how I got to the process of like getting these pants or something like that, right? So, I don't know. It just I feel like it's kind of like owning physical media in a way where everything feels more intentional
Yeah.
when you've put so much thought and time into where you acquire it or how you acquired it or like how you stumbled upon it. And I don't know. It makes it feel a little bit. This is gonna sound so corny. Like it just feels a little bit better when I put on on the jacket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, or something
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, fashion is a process, 100%.
Yeah, like I could tell you this is a very similar outfit to the one that I wore to a Rocky Horror Picture Show
Yeah.
showing in
Yes.
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. With that, now we're just going to talk a little bit about our favorites. We are running a little bit low on time, but
How much time do we have?
8 minutes?
We gave an hour, so
Okay.
about 8 minutes, and then we'll also have a Q&A after if any of y'all have
I will
questions.
speedrun that.
Well, yes. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the people and some of the places that inspire us and where we kind of get our things from. So for me, one of my all-timer influences is Cowboy Crust. He is a kind of vintage Western wear influencer. He works with a lot of bands. He goes on tour a lot, and he does a lot of experimenting in outfits with thrifting, sort of vintage Western wear. He's so cool. Definitely one of my favorite people. We've also got Ken Sakata, who is a Japanese streetwear kind of, I want to say influencer? Yeah. Well, not influencer, but he's got a brand that is so cool. I send these sometimes in Brian Otto's Discord, where he really goes into kind of the process for how they designed a piece and why and how they got there, and just the process for why they decided to make a piece this length, or why they decided to pick certain colors, et cetera, is really, really cool. And I think when you think about the process of how things end up the way they are, it helps you get a better understanding of what you're wearing and why. Dai Tanaka is another Japanese sort of streetwear influencer. He just has a lot of cool outfits and I like them. Elliot Dupre, who I mentioned earlier, is really into vintage high fashion. And he gets a lot of his things. He figures out a way to wear what he wants to wear for very cheap, which I think is really cool. And then the last one is Gramps. There's this influencer. His name is JD, and he lives in Germany, and he hangs out with his grandpa a lot. And they got into the hobby of streetwear together, where essentially him and his grandpa just play dress up, and they get a lot of cool sneakers, a lot of cool pieces from all these different brands, and they dress up. And he's just this old guy, and it's really cool. And I think he's awesome.
Anarchy, I'm gonna be so real. I saw Gramps on the flight.
I thought it was your grandpa.
I thought it was your grandpa.
Yeah.
No, well, no, not quite.
Okay.
Not quite. But yeah. Some of the places we're going over a little bit quickly. Depop, I love Depop. If you know me, I get evil on that.
My main
Don't even-
Depop lowballer
Yeah,
here.
Depop is very similar to ThreadUp. It's basically like online thrifting,
Yeah.
more or less. Yes.
I will get in there and start lowballing people. You already know what's about to happen, so like
Didn't
it's
you
chill.
lowball I told you to lowball a jacket.
Yeah, you
and
told me
then-
to lowball a jacket, and then it got accepted. And I mean, you never know.
You never know.
So you'll never know if you just lowball and hope for the best. But Culture Kings is another place I really enjoy. They've got a lot of cool streetwear inspired stuff. A lot of cool like pop culture stuff as well. I get a lot of my cool gaming T-shirts from there. If you saw my Halo shirt from the last event, that's where I got that from. love it. Same with my Call of Duty shirt as well that I wore for my Wolfenstein run last event. Momono World, those who know. Those who know. A lot of really cool gaming pop culture T-shirts as well. 100 Thieves, which is something that I got into when I was really into esports. They've kind of taken now a sort of streetwear turn where they release a lot of clothes, and I have a lot of staples in my wardrobe from 100 Thieves, which is an esports organization, which is that's crazy to think about. And then Half Evil 333. I think even my wallet is a 333 is a. I love Half Evil. But I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm gonna hand it over to whoever wants to go next.
I guess I can go next because I'm next in line.
Yeah.
I didn't put a lot in here, but I do, in terms of like people that I really take inspiration from. I mean, I'm stealing Gabby's a little bit, but like, I mean, obviously, like all the people here, I look towards a lot of the people here. But my partner is especially like a very driving force in my fashion experience. I look to them for a lot of advice in terms of fashion. They have a lot of pieces that they offer me whenever I'm like looking for something. So just like having people around you that you really care about that also have good fashion sense is good and it's fun. And then places, local thrifts. I don't think I've bought new clothes in a good long while because I always go to the thrift store for something. I mean, I just got a ton of basics from the thrift store. I just bought a piece that I will be wearing at the Truck Simulator run on commentary at the thrift store the day I left.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like other places, Forest Inc. and Dart Double Knee are both online brands. Forest Inc. provides a lot of like gothic and like really like eccentric clothes, and I know that they're also very size inclusive. And then Dart Double Knee is like a really good baggy jeans company that is fairly affordable in terms of like some of the scope of how baggy jeans can get. We all know like Jinkos can get really bad.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll just run through this really quick. So Sad Seymour is a menswear kind of like Instagram influencer. If you're looking for, especially if you're looking for stuff like utility wear, really good dude. I really like him. KBH_KK also on Instagram. He owns a Korean streetwear brand, and he's just posting stuff all the time. You're talking about like copy till it becomes you. I literally showed you an outfit that he posted. I found each individual piece that like in my own way, and then just wore that same outfit. Basically, like it's very cool. Vern Klemp, that's literally just my friend V. She was like my main fashion confidant for a long time, and also she just knows what she's doing. She walked the runway at New York Fashion Week this last year. Like she's awesome. And then Kwesi Holloway, I just wanted to shout out. Like as far as like skateboarders go, he actually just dropped like a part called Distress. Go check that out. The outfits he wears and that, it's like alongside the skating that he does is just like unreal. So anyway, and then places. These ones I'm actually going to speedrun because I did not just speedrun that. Change. They are Change and Look Studio are design studios based out of Brooklyn, New York, and they both do really cool stuff. Just cool things. Cinder is the brand that KBHKK owns. Depop we talked about. Los Angeles Apparel we talked about. The one I really want to talk about is Good On You. This website rules. If you are looking for like a place that aggregates a bunch of different brands you can buy that are, and it rates them all in terms of like sustainability, how much they pay their employees, you can sort by cheap to expensive. So if you're looking for a place that is just to be introduced to a lot of different companies from all over the globe that have really great practices that are actually all super affordable. I was finding like $10 tees on there that looked great. Good On You is awesome. You can even, if you're interested in like how your favorite brand wears or rates or something like that, you can like type it in and they give it like a grade of 1 to 5 and they rate on a bunch of different stuff. So Good On You is an amazing resource, I would say, for a lot of different fashion options, and it has a lot of different filters that you can sort by. That's the main one I wanted to sort out or shout out. Anyway. Go ahead, Gabby.
Okay, so people, Gerard Way and Haley Williams, you'll notice that I take a lot of inspiration from musicians. Those two especially, I will look at what they are wearing on stage, look at the elements, and be like, how can I bring this about in everyday life? Everybody here on this panel, I love them very much. They're awesome. Anarchy and Saf and Bri, I scroll through Bri's like fashion channel in their Discord all the time, and I'm like, hey. I'm taking notes.
The fashion channel warriors.
Do I post there much? No. Do I take a lot of notes? Yes. I also want to shout out my roommate Evie, who is like my favorite person who I've ever lived with ever. Their fashion sense is immaculate, and I want to like steal your wardrobe. I won't, but I think about it a lot. Places, Knock Thrice and Carmico are two small businesses that are Canada-based. So if you're Canadian, get those brands. They're so good. I'm going.
Canadian
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 spotted.
Canadian spotted.
Not Thrice, especially if they have a lot of like gaming and like nerd inspired wear. It's kind of like, it's not very explicitly gaming themed, but like they recently came out with a Studio Ghibli themed set. It's beautiful. It's also really expensive. So that's more. That's also more of like a statement piece kind of situation, something that you build up to, but it's worth it because it's fantastic quality. Witch Vamp make joggers and skirts that are really great quality. They're relatively affordable. They're another online brand that I love. They also make a couple t-shirts. They're a lot of fun. And local thrift shops, hit up your thrift stores, see what you can find. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Hey.
And then the last point that I think we'd all like to drive home is that you remember, wear what you want, how you want to wear it forever. Literally, for the most part, a lot of this does not matter.
It's all made up.
It's all made
It's
up.
all made up.
Literally,
All of this
all of
stuff
these are
is
made up.
fake.
All of this
Yes.
stuff is fake. As long as you are wearing something that you like wearing and you like how it looks on you, you're wearing it how you want to wear it and you look how you want to look, it does not matter.
Yeah.
Just, as Gabby says, do what you want forever.
Yep. Don't let anyone give you crap.
Exactly, yeah. But with that, we hella talked. But we have Q&A. So thank you all so much for...
Thank you
Oh,
all.
there's Pete. Hi, Pete. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah.
Are
London?
we doing the?
Are we?
Are we doing the
I
mic?
can do this. I can do this afterwards.
Okay, so I guess we have the mic up at the front. So
yeah,
if you have
questions.
Yeah,
if you have a
for
question,
everyone.
feel free to come up to the mic up at the front.
Yeah.
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 That one right there.
That
Yep.
one right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I face you or this mic or what?
I would face the
Face
mic.
the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so super curious question. I'm somebody who is like particularly fond of shoes that feel incredibly comfortable. Do you have any advice for wearing shoes that are like very comfortable, very easy to wear, but still look good and work well with a bunch of outfits?
At the very off the dome, my first piece of advice would be like find a nice pair of boots that you either have you've thrifted them so they're already broken in, or a pair of boots that you buy new that you've saved up for and you buy them to break them in, because a pair of boots is going to be the most, in my own opinion, the most bang for your buck in terms of goes with pretty much any outfit, like just a pair of black ankle boots. I mean, I have a pair of
I'm wearing
Chelsea
a
style boots
pair of
that
black
I
ankle
just
boots right now.
bought.
Mhm.
You're wearing a pair of black ankle boots right now. They go with pretty much any outfit. Once you break them in, they are the most comfortable things in the world, especially if you get something with leather. It's going to be waterproof, and especially you can get like a spray that'll waterproof it further.
Oh, cool.
So that's like off the dome, my piece of advice.
Yeah, I think the other thing I would say is maybe not a direct answer to your question, but yeah, we talked a lot about affordability for clothes. I think if there's, you can find shoes secondhand. I don't have a lot of experience with that, but I would say when it comes to like your back health, that's like one of the things I'm like, don't mess with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if there's one piece of clothing that is worth investing in and spending like a decent amount of money on, it's anything that goes on your feet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess like a brand I would recommend off the top of my head, there's called Rothy's. They have a lot of to both men's and women's options. You know about Rothy's. And what I love about Rothy's is they're machine washable. So
Ooh.
yeah, for me, I'm like really, really anal about any like dirt or anything getting on my shoes, and I love wearing like white and light colored shoes. So just knowing if I get like mud on there, they go in the wash and they're fine and they look brand new is really awesome.
That's
So,
really cool.
Thanks.
I would suggest monochrome sneakers. Just one
Yeah,
color
that was my point. I
One
was gonna
color.
make. Yeah, that was my
Single
point. I
color
was gonna make.
sneakers. Skechers are great.
Skechers,
Oh,
great
we
shout.
love Skechers.
I walk around a lot at work, and so I have I wore them out. Had one pair of black Skechers that I would wear with everything, and it works really well. So like if you walk around, if you do a lot of walking, if you're at conventions like this, sneakers, great
Yeah.
investment.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
feel so vindicated for my one black pair of Hokas. Thank
Yeah.
you.
100%. Yeah.
Let's go.
That was also going to be my point. My point was that I'm a big sneakerhead, so I wear a lot of sneakers all the time. Really good sneakers that are also kind of sport style is really kind of the word here, where it's stuff that's made with sports and athleticism in mind, but they also look nice, and usually because they're built with kind of athleticism in mind, they're usually really comfortable. Personally, I have a pair of Under Armour shoes. I have a lot of Under Armour shoes just for my stint there, but the Fords 96s, I love those shoes so much. So they're all white. They've got like reflective like type beat going on in there. They look so nice and they're so comfortable, and they go with a lot because they're all white. And they also had options that were all black or like this, that, and the third.
That was going to be
but
my question,
yeah.
was if they came in black.
Yeah, they were white, black. They had other colors. They had some gumshoe bottoms. So literally, like whatever it is that you find you're gonna wear the most, whether it be all black or all white or whatever it is, find you a good pair of like really comfortable sneakers. Usually, sports style athleisure is also a good word to look for, and that'll be some good shoes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's
for
very
the question.
comforting to know that I don't have to have like 100 different pairs and
Yeah.
make sure they're all comfortable in
Yeah.
order to
Yes.
dress well. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really appreciate it. Fantastic panel, you all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank,
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions?
Any other questions?
Yay.
We should have
Also-
like, a little
I
line.
still
Yeah,
look
if you
up.
want to do
Yeah,
a
if
whole
you want to
line
do
of-
it,
Yeah,
please,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
feel free to line up. Yeah.
I think
Hi,
we could
gang.
do
Hi,
like
Claus.
Hi, Shokla.
Name me.
for one more person, I think, and we could like 1, 2, and then one extra person, and then we can call it for the panel.
Okay,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
okay. We have
yeah.
someone who has a run very, very shortly.
Yeah, we were hella
Oh,
talking.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Split fiction coming
Split
up by our
fiction coming up.
panelists, Gabby, and our lovely Birch in the audience.
what's your
right
question?
there. What's your question?
It's
Go, go,
fine.
go, go,
You
go.
can
Go.
take your time. I'll get mad at you later. It's fine.
Okay.
My eternal struggle is finding accessories that are good. Do you have
Yeah.
any accessory-focused brands or shops that you like?
Oh my God. There's
No, actually, all the
No.
accessories I've ever found are just like, I'm not even gonna lie, like just like super cheap little like chains or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I got a chain wallet from Dickies that I love. I like a lot of stuff that Dickies makes. Yeah. I don't know if y'all have any suggestions there.
Yeah. For me personally, Etsy is, especially right now, is very tiresome and hard to go through a lot of the time right now. But a lot of my jewelry finds have been off Etsy.
Actually, that's a really good. Yeah, that's a really good recommendation.
Whether it's finding little shops that do rings specifically, both of these came from Etsy. These two chains also came from Etsy. This jean chain that I'm wearing also came from Etsy. So really, just going on there and looking, you'll often find a lot of really affordable stuff, usually from people who make them themselves as well. That'll be pretty cheap. I think both of these rings were like somewhere in the realm of $3 to $5. These chains were both $3 each. This is the best purchase I ever made in my life. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Etsy is a really good place to find.
If there's no other answers, real
I-
fast.
I unfortunately have to be a goth on main and say Hot Topic.
Okay,
period.
of course.
Additionally, R.I.P.
where this
Claire's,
is
but
from.
Claire's. I got a lot of my headpieces from Claire's. My flower crowns that I wear a lot, got them from Claire's. Claire's and Hot Topic. They're around. They're everywhere. You
Yeah.
can
Go
find
to
them-
my nearest mall, thank you.
Yeah.
Get a pretzel for me.
You can pay me back. It's fine.
I'll pay. No, no, I'll pay you back.
Next
Yeah.
question.
Ask your other question.
This is not true, and you know it.
Hey, me when I lie. Anyway.
Love you, Claus.
Hi, y'all.
Hi.
Thanks
Hi.
for a wonderful, wonderful panel.
Thanks for
thank
being
you.
here.
I was wondering for the online thrift people, how do you do sizing?
Most
Ooh.
most people on Depop will have the measurements listed. There's also like a chat function where you can talk directly to the seller. And then also, if you're kind of like wondering what your measurements are, there are plenty of like guides you can find online,
Yeah.
like how do you take your own measurements with like
Yeah.
a tape measure or something like that. And yeah, the most reputable people on Depop or ThreadUp or anything like that will list stuff.
Yeah.
And if not, you can ask.
Yeah.
ThreadUp will has a sizing guideline, so they will sort it according to their own internal guidelines. So knowing what your measurements are,
Yeah,
and comparing
100%.
them to the sizing chart, as well as like other smaller independent brands will also have their own sizing charts. So knowing what your measurements are and comparing them to the sizing charts is the way to go.
And you can also filter by size
Yeah.
as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will pop in really quick, and I will say, if you don't have a tape measure at home, I think the most expensive one I've seen is like it's $2 if you go to any craft store or like a hardware store or something. Super, super useful, especially just to always have and just to keep in mind for your measurements.
I know I'm about to throw the biggest "it depends" at you ever, stated, but a problem, and it's kind of overstated to say it's a problem, but a thing I have, both for myself but also for fictional character design stuff, is it's like, okay, this is fine, this works, but it's too basic, it's missing something, and so I'm like, any big advice you have in like the general sense of, you look at something, you're like, something's not here. What do you do for going about finding that, or approaching discovering that?
yeah, that's a
something?
really
Because
good
it is
question.
That's a really good
depends.
question.
I can give you the first answer that came to my mind. Find like a statement color.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like any sort of contrasting color or complementary color that is a statement. For example, I have a a bright orange like trucker hat from my favorite bar in Portland that I'm gonna wear tomorrow. Like, and that was kind of like the missing piece for this one outfit that I wear. So yeah, try like a bright color, bright statement color, something like that would be my answer.
I would say to reevaluate your accessories
That
and
too.
to
That is good.
look at how you're layering things. Sometimes
Ooh, that's a
switching
good
up a
point.
layer and moving things around helps. Like sometimes it's like, oh, I have this one layer looks really weird. I should switch it out with something else. I've added a layer on like a jacket or something. That has also been helpful. So yeah, accessories and layering is what I would say.
Yeah, you
Big
beat me to
agree
it.
on layering.
I was gonna say
Yeah, yeah.
accessories and layering. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. I don't have. Yeah, y'all kind of nailed
Yeah.
it.
Again, your mileage may vary depending on the
Yeah.
outfit, etc.
That's true. Yeah.
Yes.
It does depend.
It does. Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Thank
yeah,
you.
that was a really good question. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that-
All
that it?
right.
Anything else?
Anything else? All right.
We got
Oh, we have one more. One more.
One
Wait,
more?
one more.
Let's go.
last one, and then I really gotta go.
Yeah, then
Okay,
we
yeah.
gotta get you
I
out
also.
of here.
I'm not gonna lie. I have to pee. So
Just into the mic.
just into the microphone. Yeah.
I feel like it's really hard to find men's clothes with like really saturated colors.
Yeah.
Do you have any recommendations, or am I like wrong that
Not
am I
thrice.
missing them?
I think you'd be surprised what you can find on a place like Depop or ThredUp.
Yeah.
That too.
Honestly, yeah. Because I've kind of been in the same boat, even if I do wear a lot of like more muted stuff. There are really fun things you'd be surprised if you haven't been on there before. But you can filter by color as well. And so if you're looking for super bright things, that would be my suggestion. Otherwise, off the top of my head, nothing comes to mind.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And I mean, especially at like brick and mortar thrift stores, like
Yeah.
they will pop out. Like especially if you're in those
Yeah.
like in the sections that you want to be in, they will pop out compared to like everything else. So that's where some of my greatest finds have come from. Of like, oh my god, wait, I love that color. Part the Red Sea. Here we are.
Already point out that clothes aren't gendered. Just wear women's clothing. It's great.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for
so
the
much.
question.
Other than that, hey, thank you all so much for being at this
Yeah,
panel.
thank you.
I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Thank you all so much.
This was kind of a pipe dream from last event where I was like, hey, it'd be so cool. We love to put on clothes. I like to play dress up.
Shout outs to literally everybody posting their fit checks on
Yeah,
Blue Sky.
100%. Yeah.
Please keep doing that. You're amazing. You're great.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, you're all
Keep
great,
doing
and keep putting on cool shit. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, I have to hella pee.